chapter 2, verses 1 to 2, I read in this verse that, crying to the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus said the Lord, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousal, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in the land that was not sown. In here, in this verse, Jeremiah chapter 2, verses 1 to 2, the prophet Jeremiah was giving his sermon to the people of Judah on how God remembered them when they were yet devoted to Him in the early years. And they likened Him into a new bride, which followed God even into the wilderness. Amen? So, but if you go to this chapter, you will see eventually that they have forsaken their own God. And they have replaced it with their false God. So, likewise also, when a church take for granted our relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ, our relationship is in danger. So, never take for granted our relationship with our Lord Jesus Christ. We could learn here also that it is possible to serve, sacrifice, and suffer for His name's sake, and yet not really love the Lord Jesus Christ. So, this is a very sad condition, because all the way you were thinking that your service, that your suffering, you were doing it out of love, but hindi pala. The Ephesian believers also were busy maintaining their separation. They were neglecting their adoration. On 1 Corinthians, the Ephesian believers were busy maintaining their separation, that they were neglecting their adoration. So, on 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1, where Brother will discuss this morning, though I speak with tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity or love, I become as a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. So, whatever we do, it all goes back to our motive, which is our love for our Lord Jesus Christ. So, now, we also consider that labor is not a substitute for love, and purity is not a substitution for passion. The church must have both if we are to please our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Let me say this again. Our service is now substitute for our love for Jesus Christ. We must make our priorities right. The Ephesian believers were diligently serving Christ, but they were doing it at the expense of loving Him. So, take the case, for example, of Martha, Mary, and the Lord Jesus Christ. On Luke chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. We are all familiar with this account of the Bible. Martha was so busy serving that he got distracted from the things that it should be. But on the other hand, Mary was just enjoying the presence of the Lord, because Martha, in the house, maybe she was busy preparing the food, not only also the food, but because in the old times, maybe when you say a dinner there, parang pangsang maraming tao. So, but we all know that between the two of them, Jesus made it clear that Mary was chosen the good part, or Mary has chosen the good part, which is, to be with the Lord. So, do not let your service take priority over your love for Him. So, it is only as we love Christ fervently that we can serve Him faithfully. Our love for Him must be pure, meaning to say, without blemish. It's only love. It's not love plus this reason or love plus this motivation, but it should be only love. So, Oswald, may I quote this from Oswald Chambers, said that, beware of anything that competes with the loyalty to Jesus Christ. The greatest competitor of devotion to Jesus is service to Him. So these were the review of the Ephesian church. Now, going to verses 5 and 7, remember therefore whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent. But this thou hast hated the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. He that hath ear, let him hear, which the Spirit said unto the churches. To him that overcometh, I will give it to thee, the tree of life, which is in the midst of paradise. So, what's interesting about this is that, remember that the Ephesus was established by Paul. So, 40 years earlier, Paul wrote the Ephesians, or the church of Ephesus, from his imprisonment in Rome. And on Ephesians 6:24, he ended that letter saying that, grace be with all them that love our Lord Jesus Christ in sincerity. Amen. It is ironic that the same church 40 years earlier was known as the church who sincerely loved our Lord Jesus Christ. And now, it is the church that is criticized for living its first love. So how did these Ephesian believers go to that point? To be honest, we really don't know. There could be many factors, because the Ephesian church today is non-existent. So, this is a warning to us. What can we do to prevent this from happening to ourselves? So, we will go to point number 3. You could write the word admonition, which also means firm one. So, what can we do? First love can be restored by remembering. The word remember here literally means to keep on remembering. So, remembering what we have lost and cultivate a desire to regain that close communion once again. So, this is true, no? Try to remember the instances where, you were struggling and eventually you did overcome it by the grace of our Lord. So remember those defeats that you have experienced, but then eventually you become victorious. So this is also true. First love can be restored by remembering. The second is, we must repent. We must change our minds and confess our sins to the Lord. 1 John 1:9 says that if we confess our sins, He's just and faithful just to forgive us. Repentance is a change of mind that leads to a change of action. Amen? Ask the Holy Spirit to help you. So, I don't know who said this, but if you try to remember your sins, and instead of feeling disgusted about it, and when you remember it, you're smiling, and it only means that you have not repented of that sin. So, we must repent. So first is we must restore our first love by remembering. We must repent. And also third, we must repeat the first works. The first works are just restoring the original fellowship that was neglected. For the believers, this means prayer, Bible reading, meditation, obedient service, and worshiping. So, think about it. You accepted the Lord Jesus Christ. During that time, after accepting it, you were really passionate to do the service. You were willing to serve Him in any other way. But somewhere down the road, you become, for example, you were already becoming inconsistent with your Bible study, with your prayer life, and slowly, you didn't realize that you are already falling away from the path that you should have walked upon in your Christian life. So, in here also, it is true that we should repeat the first word. Now, also, the other thing is that we should remember that we should not lose our love, for the church that loses its love will soon lose its life, no matter how doctrinally sound it may be. On Ephesians 3:17, that Christ may dwell in your hearts by faith, that He being rooted and grounded in love. So, it's not under your notes, but maybe you could put the word rooted in love. So, we are remembering. Second is repent, third is repeat, and maybe fourth, I could put there, we must be rooted in love. Now, I will come. On verse 5, there is a warning there. That it says in verse 5 that, remember therefore whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first work, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent. Now, the I will come there word refers not to the Lord's return, but this refers to the judgment for us, for this church. And if you take a note, it not only it says that He will not only remove us, He will not remove the candlestick, but He will quickly remove. So this is a warning to us. Unless if we don't repent, the Lord will surely remove us. Now, the church has a specific purpose which serves as a life-giving institution. It is evangelistic in nature. That's why it symbolizes as a candlestick. It should be spreading the gospel continually. But however, if you lose that life, the Lord will surely remove us. Now, the fifth that we must do is, it's not on your notes also, but you maybe you could write the word there. We should be relentless in our faith. Revelation 2 verse 7 makes it clear that the individual believers within the church may be true to the Lord no matter what others may do. See? So, the overcomers are true believers whose faith has given the victory. In there, you will see the word overcomers. So, for the overcomers, if you look at 1 John chapter 5, verses 4 to 5, the overcomers are read on verse 4, for whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Who is he that overcometh the world? but he that believeth that Jesus is the Son of God. So, the overcomers is the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. We become overcomers the moment that we place our faith in Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, who believe in this. So, in conclusion, the church of Ephesus was a careless church, which was made up of careless believers who neglected the first love for Christ. Are we guilty of the same neglect? So, I could answer that to your own self, but so this is our lesson this afternoon. I hope that you have learned something. Pastor?
Thank you so much, Brother Carl. That's a blessing, amen? The church in Ephesus, as we have told you before, the churches is like a panorama. They picture a certain age in history, and the church in Ephesus portrays the apostolic church. But it is also, these are actual churches in Asia Minor, with actual people in them, and the way they behave is the same way that Christians are also behaving these days. And so it's very important to learn from these lessons. Please review those lessons. Go through it again. If you want a full copy of the lesson, you can just ask from, not my handwriting, because you will be discouraged in reading it. You just get the one that was typed by Brother Carl. Go back to point number 4. I just want to shed light. Paliwanag ko lang kunti ito. Point 1, number 4. They were also separated from false deeds. The word Nicolaitans. Sino itong mga Nicolaitans? As Brother Carl said, there are various thoughts regarding this word or this group, these people. The word Nicolaitans means to conquer the people. It means to conquer the people. Nicolaitans is a sect. Diba? Have you heard of the Pharisees? The scribes? Have you heard of the Herodians? Okay? This is another sect. Even those type grupo ito. Nicolaitan is a group, a sect, who lorded the people. Kasi meaning ng Nicolaitan is to conquer the people. They lorded it over. They lorded over the church. An example would be in 3 John 9-11, you have the story of Judas. Okay? They lorded over the church and robbed the people of their liberty in Christ. So those are Nicolaitans, and those are the groups that the church in Ephesus hated. So there we have the study of the first church. Very, very interesting. And thank you so much, Brother Carl, for the way you taught the lesson. And next week we'll be talking about the church in Smyrna. The church in Smyrna and the church in Philadelphia are the 2 best churches among the 7. So we learned so much this afternoon from this church in Ephesus. So many things to learn. It is possible to be sacrificial. It's very possible to work so hard, and yet wala na tayong pagmamahal sa Panginoon. They were so focused, as we have Brother Carl repeated its statement, in maintaining our separation, that we have neglected already our adoration. So, lagi natin itatanong sa sarili natin yan, how is our first love? Do we still love the Lord like the way we loved Him when we first got saved? This is the problem of believers. When they get saved, they become very on fire. And then as time goes by, they slow down, they become very ganito. Parang tao din. Minsan ng church, parang nag-game ng post din. Masungit na pag tumatanda na marami ng problema. Okay, so sana paratingin natin yung ating pagmamahal sa Panginoon. Amen? Keep your love fervent for the Lord and for the Lord of God. That means, yung ating motivation should always be love of Christ. The Bible says, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as servants of Christ, doing the will of God from. Did you know the verse? Not as men pleasers, but as servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart. I was talking to Brother Bong yesterday. There is a great danger here. Brother Bruce, help me. Okay, come here. Okay. For example, you are this Christian. You are serving the Lord because you love the Lord. In your heart, you just love God. And so you just do what you do because you love the Lord. There is no ulterior motive. Just a plain and sincere love for the Lord Jesus Christ. Do you understand? Amen. So you do this, you wash the dishes, you serve, you bring people, you do so many things. And what's motivating you is your love for the Lord. Be careful, because once you do that, as you serve the Lord, then people will begin to recognize, will notice what you're doing. Do you understand? You cannot avoid that. Oh, see Brother Orvin, oh, see, they're always, they're always serving. And so people will begin to praise you. And because people are praising you, you feel better, right? You feel better when there is approval, when there is commendation. And then you are probably, somebody will bring you to the front, they will probably give you a plaque of appreciation or certification and something, and oh, you just enjoy the commendation from the outside. Now, the danger is, the motivation that used to come from the heart, purely by love, it's beginning to shift from the outside. Because you're being praised, because you're being commended, oh, you work harder. Because somebody is noticing what you're doing. And then, as you work harder, there was a time when nobody noticed what you do. Nobody talked your back. Nobody said, Brad, you did a very good job. And I'm very proud of you. And so, you get discouraged a little bit. But parang walang pumapansin sa ginagawa ko? Why is it that it seems like nobody's noticing what I'm doing? And so, now maybe it's not worth doing it. Say, what has happened? The motivation that used to come from within has shifted to a motivation from without. And that is very, very dangerous. So keep your motivation from the inside. Okay? If people will commend you, will praise you, will give you things, they will recognize you, because October 11 we will have Workers' Appreciation Day. And if you will be one of those who will be appreciated that day, and just receive it, and just say praise the Lord, and just continue serving the Lord, and let your motivation be the love for Christ. Amen? Thank you so much, Brother Bruce. Happy birthday to Brother Jonathan on the 23rd. Kailan to? Anong araw ito? Ha? Saan? Kamanta mo?